You don't recognize me. You must treat me with respect.
It began in Earth's orbit. A Russian space station was conducting research linked to a vessel in the South Pacific. Everything was going to plan until a cosmonaut noticed a strange anomaly. It infiltrated the station and surged through the comms link down to the ship, creating a critical emergency aboard. Meanwhile, in neutral waters, a small tugboat dragging a loaded barge was caught in the grip of a massive typhoon. Under the pressure of the storm, they lost the barge and its uninsured cargo, leading to a financial disaster. Desperate, they decided to head straight into the eye of the cyclone, where the waters were relatively calm. Arriving at the coordinates, they stumble upon an abandoned research vessel. Boarding it, they find it completely deserted. All power lines have been physically severed, and there are signs of a brutal struggle throughout the ship. This grim scene, however, is good news for our heroes. Under maritime law, salvaging an abandoned vessel in neutral waters could earn them millions of dollars. All they have to do is restore power and tow the ship to safety. But the moment the energy was restored, strange mechanical sounds echoed from the ship's depths. The technology started operating on its own, and the automated anchor winch dropped the anchor directly onto their tugboat, sinking it instantly. This convinced the crew that they were not alone. They decided to split up and search the ship. And indeed, in the medical bay, they found the sole survivor, a woman, the chief science officer. She was physically and mentally shattered, but she told them the truth. An extraterrestrial life form composed of pure energy had struck the ship from space. It hijacked the electronics, learned everything from the computers, and began slaughtering the crew to turn them into bio-robots. She and her husband had managed to kill the power, trapping it. Her husband died, but she hid in the sickbay. Our heroes, of course, dismiss this as nonsense. They continue preparing the ship to escape the cyclone, which has now moved directly over them, engulfing the vessel in massive waves. Meanwhile, the team discovers a lab where small robots are building themselves autonomously. These machines treat the uninvited guests with hostility and attack. Suddenly, larger bio-robots appear, armed with heavy automatic weapons. A firefight erupts and several crew members are killed. The survivors finally believe the Russian scientist's story. In an attempt to understand the enemy, they hack into the mainframe to communicate with the alien life form, asking what it wants. The response is chilling. The entity reveals it is an aggressive life form that considers humanity to be a virus. And the cure is total extermination. Realizing the threat, they decide to cut the power again and sink the ship. Only the captain objects. He is still blinded by greed, hoping to sell the vessel for a fortune. Ignoring the captain's orders, the team moves to save humanity. The captain, however, decides to make a deal with the enemy. To his surprise, the machine accepts. He enters the central robotics lab, where bio-robots are assembled from human parts, and offers to guide the ship to shore in exchange for his life. Meanwhile, the rest of the heroes rig an explosive device deep inside the ship and head for the exit. On their way, they encounter their former captain, now a grotesque bio-robot. He demands respect from the crew. Instead of respect, he receives a thermobaric grenade and burns from the disrespect. The heroes push forward, but the main bio-robot, the Goliath, blocks their path. It tosses them around like rag dolls, captures one crew member, and demands the location of the detonator. But the other crew members return to the rescue. A fierce battle begins. They blast the cyborg with an RPG, then try to run. It attacks again. They blow it up with gas tanks and flee. The monster attacks a third time. The survivors, out of ammo, sprint to the missile launch bay. They improvise an ejection seat sequence. Just as they launch, the explosive device detonates. The Russian research vessel is annihilated, and our heroes are picked up by a rescue helicopter. They fly off into the sunset. A happy ending.